Well, hello there. It's me again. Fancy meeting you here. Well, it's that time again. It's bedtime. Bedtime. I hope you enjoyed our first video together. This will be number two. And I figured that maybe every night we could hang out and get to know each other a little bit better. And maybe, we're in this together. We are a team, so yeah. So yeah, I hope you get what I'm saying. I thought maybe I'd start off by brushing your hair a little bit. How's your day been, darling? Well, yesterday we had a birthday party for my mom. And, oh sorry, my nose is itching. And it was good. There was a little bit of drama with the little one. Other than that, everything was great. Tuesday, I went over to my son's house, and when I got back home, I felt something wet on the back of my shirt. And I thought, how in the world can the back of my shirt be so wet? So I took my shirt off, and it was soaked in blood. So there's a little spot on my back that is just bleeding for no reason. It has not stopped bleeding. It will not clot up. So next week I'm going to have to go to the doctor and see what that's all about. I don't have moles. I don't know what it could be. I have no clue. Very, very strange. So, got that going on. I thought maybe tonight you and I could talk about perspective. Let me get this. Let me wipe your face up a little bit. There we go. Let's go. Look at it like this. In my lives, we take a little trip. I invite everybody to come to Kentucky, and we take a hike up the pinnacle. And when we get up there, we envision being sitting around a campfire. And I ask everybody to, say you meet somebody new. And so, basically, you tell about, the story of your life so far. So, I ask everybody to think about what they would say. What so far? What would you say the story of your life's about? So, there goes the dryer. It never fails. It never fails. Anyway, so I said, say that, you've had a lot of trouble in your childhood, in your past. You've been through a bad marriage. Just something very bad has happened to you in your past. When you tell your story, how do you tell it? Oh, well, I've been married 5 times, and each time I've just found the worst person, and poor pitiful me, or my childhood was horrible, and poor pitiful me. And not saying that, I don't mean it like that. What I'm trying to say is, you can take your story and look at it in a different light. Your perspective of it. I've had a bad childhood, but I tell you what, it motivated me to do good in school. It motivated me to get a good job. I've had a bad marriage, and I was down and out, but I picked myself up. I found my strength and I got out of there. And when I got out on the other side, I'm a better, stronger person. And I wouldn't change a thing. So perspective, your perspective on things really makes a difference. So that's something to think about. Change your perspective on how you think things. I've got a great book I would love to read to you. A little bedtime story if you're interested. It's by Matthew McConaughey. And it is called Just Because. Just Because. I saw him on some talk show, late night talk show, talking about this book, and I loved it, so I thought, I gotta order that. Just because. Let me move these things. Okay. Get cozy, cozy, comfy. Let me tuck you in, tuck you in, tuck you in. Let me gently, gently tuck you. How are you feeling, darling? Oh, tomorrow's gonna be an amazing day. You're gonna have sweet, sweet dreams. You're gonna slip into the deep, deep sleep. And everything's gonna be okay. Be happy. See the positive in things. Believe in yourself. Be motivated. And always do the right thing. Okay, are you good and comfy now? Okay. Just because. Oh, did you hear my shoulder? Alright, I'm gonna have to put on my glasses. You know what? I've never in my life had to wear glasses up until here recently. And I've got to wear reading glasses. So there you go. Don't ever think that you won't be wearing glasses, because one day you just might. Because I never thought it. I've always had perfect vision. Okay. Just because they threw a dart doesn't mean that it stuck. Just because I've got skill doesn't mean that there's no luck. Just because they let you down doesn't mean you gotta go low. Just because they're clumsy doesn't mean they have no flow. Just because you answer doesn't mean I heed the call. And just because I'm at the top doesn't mean that I can't fall. Just because I let go doesn't mean that I stopped climbing. Just because I mean it doesn't mean that I'm not lying. Just because I'm finished doesn't mean that I'm done. Just because I got the gold doesn't mean that I won. Just because you wrote it doesn't mean that I read it. And just because I did it doesn't mean that I don't regret it. Just because you can pull it off doesn't mean that you should do it. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you blew it. Just because they say it's so doesn't mean it happened to me. There's how I see it, how you see it, and what will come to be. Just because you threw shade doesn't mean I'm out of the sun. Just because they shut me down doesn't mean I have not won. Just because you're wailing doesn't mean you're a crier. Just because I lied doesn't mean that I'm a liar. Just because they can choose doesn't mean you have a choice. And just because they don't hear you doesn't mean you have no voice. Just because it's silent doesn't mean that it's not loud. Just because you're alone doesn't mean that there's no crowd. Just because I'm dirty doesn't mean I can't get clean. Just because you're nice doesn't mean I can't be mean. Just because I'm going in circles doesn't mean that I'm dizzy. And just because I'm sitting still doesn't mean that I'm not busy. Just because we're friends doesn't mean that you can't burn me. Just because I'm stubborn doesn't mean that you can't turn me. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean I can still trust. There's what you do, there's what I do. And yours is not my must. Just because it's fiction doesn't mean it can't be true. Just because you want one more doesn't mean that you need two. Just because you're bully doesn't mean that you are strong. Just because it felt right doesn't mean it won't feel wrong. Just because a hand is clenched doesn't mean that it's a fist. Just because I'd rather not doesn't mean that I don't take risk. Just because I'm in the race doesn't mean I'm fully ready. Just because you're shaky doesn't mean that you're not steady. Well, there we go. Just because you follow doesn't mean that you're not a leader. Just because I keep whining doesn't mean that I'm a cheater. Let me repeat that. Just because I keep winning doesn't mean that I'm a cheater. Just because we disagree doesn't mean that you're not right. And just because it's dark doesn't mean that it's not night. Let me repeat that one. What is going on with me? And just because it's dark doesn't mean that it's night. There we go. Just because the sun has set doesn't mean that it will not rise. Because every day is a gift, each one a new surprise. Believe it. You know Matthew McConaughey always says that. Believe it. That's the end. I hope you enjoyed this book. Just because. And just because I'm done reading doesn't mean that I'm finished with you.